former Athens High School coach, and he's a published author. He's got a few words he wants to say. And welcome, Chris Stewart.
I'm really grateful for a chance to just say hi, talk to you guys, and it's kind of awesome to be following up the Brock Strom tournament. We got a chance to meet Brock in 2014 when my son was playing travel baseball, and it's actually one of the things that he said to me that he remembers about all the youth days growing up playing from 7U all the way to now he's playing in college, as a sophomore in college, 20 years old. One of the things when I asked him this year, we were sitting around during Christmas time talking about what are some of your greatest memories from playing baseball, from 7U, 8U, 9U, 10U, all the way up through. And, there were a few things like, walk-off home run here, or, this experience, this championship we won or whatever. For the most part, it was things like we got a chance to have our picture taken with Brock. And that was actually one of the things he mentioned was just basically let that guy being our bat boy. Or this thing that happened in this hotel room at the this one tournament and things like that. It was really interesting to me how much focus that I put on the day in and day out, the momentary things that I felt like were so valuable, the things that I would actually probably spend 10 minutes between the ballpark and the hotel room, kind of going at him, about things mistakes he made, and he'd already forgotten about them. It really kind of gave me a perspective of what was most important and what was most valuable to those kids that we coach. I want to tell you, that's actually one of the things that led me to begin writing. Writing is something that I've always enjoyed. I've always enjoyed reading. While I was coaching, I didn't have a chance to read much outside of wanting to become a better coach and trying to read books on baseball. And the reason I said while I was coaching is because I decided to step away for a couple of years. This book, Building Champions, is a book that kind of came out of all my experiences from the time I began coaching where you guys are right now, all the way really until today. I'm continue to write to this day. And the picture on this book is a photo of something that's going to happen to all of you guys eventually. This is the last day I ever coached my son. It was the end of it. We lost in the regional final. We had the opportunity to go to the regional final Division II championship game in Zanesville 2 years in a row. His junior year, which was 2016, and this was 2017. This was three of our coaches, myself being one in the middle, and then myself hugging my son. And I think in that moment, I love the fact that somebody captured that picture for me, because it was the moment when we realized, everything flashed before my eyes in that moment. From the first time we stepped on the field together, I just remember the little red jersey he was wearing, that bat that was too heavy for him to swing, and just trying to throw the ball back to me, all the way to that point there, which is in this game, he had only 2 RBIs. He had a 2-run home run. And I'm standing there, and all of that's flashing through my mind. And I thought to myself, this was such a huge investment, and it wasn't just about baseball. What it was about was life. What the game that you all are coaching, and the thing that I was just beginning to learn before I decided to step away, just for a few years. I'm not done coaching. It's one of the reasons I'm writing. I got to keep doing it. I got to keep getting it out. And working with kids individually just isn't the same. I want to be part of a team. I want to be part of coaching a team. And so what I decided to do was to start putting things out there that I have learned, mistakes that I have made, things that along the way I realized, man, I wish I could have done this better, because I didn't have that when I was going through coaching. I still feel like a young coach. I was part of Athens High School for 13 years. If that position's open again when my son's done playing in college and my daughter's done playing in college in a few years, then I would love to get back into that. But in the time being, I'm soaking in as much as I can, because I'm realizing that coaching is so much more about life than it is X's and O's. Yeah, you can't forsake the X's and O's. The teams that really focus on the fundamentals every single day, the basics of just throwing the ball and catching the ball, the 5 tools that Coach Saunders talked about, they're going to be better, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be in the finals. But I tell you what, when it's all over, and you get an opportunity to look back and say, wow, that photo's a picture of me. My kid's done now. Now he's a CEO somewhere. Now he's working at a factory somewhere or whatever. But these days were the best days of our lives. And it's one of the things that I actually thought about doing, was just writing about the experiences that we had And I'm a simple-minded person. I'm not a complicated person. It's not a very thick book. I actually was not done writing, so I followed it up in the same year with another book called Coaching Life. And the reason I decided to put these thoughts on paper was because I needed these things when I was first beginning in coaching 8U. I needed these things as a 12U coach. These are stories of my mistakes. These are stories of things that I've learned. And so I'm thankful for the chance to get to share that with you. And a reminder, I'm not going to take any more time because I know you got a lot going on right now, but just one reminder, this is something I was thinking about as I was driving up here is this. You know, I was thinking through my glory days. I had a guy who's a superintendent now at Jackson High School. He messaged me yesterday and said he wanted to buy a copy of my book. I said, Joe, his name's Joe Hensley. Joe Bob was what we called him when I was 12 years old. He was my coach as a 12U. I said, I actually tell a story in this book about you, Joe. I said, you're getting a complimentary copy. It's actually on its way right now. I said, you know, you're part of my good old days. That's the title of that chapter. We all have good old days. If I were to right now ask you to think of some of your greatest memories, you could immediately think about them because those are your best days of your life. And a lot of them, and you're probably in this room today because a lot of your best memories are centered around the game of baseball. And if that is true of you, remember this every day when you're with your players. Right now, today, you are making somebody else's good old days. And as a youth coach, you don't ever want to be someone's last coach. Coach Saunders mentioned that sometimes kids get burned out at 10 years old. How does that happen? I understand that they may not love the game, but we don't want them to, if a kid truly loves the game and wants to play, don't be that kid's last coach. And I think there are some ways for us to make sure that that doesn't ever happen to us. And here's the thing, invest not just in the game. Invest not just in learning the game and in focusing on the game. Don't just have passion for the game. Invest in yourself. And it's one of the greatest passions that have energized me to write, to just want to help people to invest in themselves. Invest in yourself as a coach. If you're becoming the best that you can possibly be, then you are going to be able to help somebody else be the best they can possibly be. And notice I didn't just say, and I think there are two kinds of coaches. Coaches that coach a team to try to win every single day, and that's not bad. But then there are also coaches who coach a team to try to be the best they can be. Actually, coaches who coach people to try to be the best people they can be. And the truth is, if I'm helping a kid be the best person he can be, I'm going to get the best out of him on the field. But the opposite isn't always true. If I'm trying to help a kid be the best ground ball fielder he can be or the best hitter he can be, he's not always going to be the best person. And what's going to be the most important to him 15 years from now? My son wouldn't have said it at 12 years old. He would have said, I need to be the best hitter I can be. But now at 20 years old, he'll tell you, it's to be the best person I can be. And you all are getting there. So thank you again. You know what, I'll leave a couple of these. If you guys want to wrap them up, that'd be great. I'll do that, be glad to do that. So appreciate the time. Thanks. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Hey guys, 90 seconds. 90 seconds. After I'm done trying to convince you guys how awesome Area Sportswear is to do business with, we're going to have a name pulled out of a bowl, and we're going to give a free set of uniforms to one team in the room. I'm Mike Campbell. I started Area Sportswear 20 years ago to make it easy and painless for coaches to get custom apparel and team uniforms. And we're here today because we're the official uniform and spirit wear sponsor for COYBL. I'm pumped because I like baseball a lot and I love coaches. Two quick things. One, if you haven't dealt with your uniform order yet this year, please stop by and say hi to the 6 people we have outside. They can help you get it off your plate going into the spring. And 2, we're really good at the fun stuff, the t-shirts and the sweatshirts and the cool looking stuff that your kids and your parents like to wear off the field. If you or if like the team mom that you give that order to, it really likes to spend a lot of time going through the latest and greatest on fabric and fit and fashion with a product expert. We're really good at hand holding, making that a rewarding experience. If you're more like me, where you just want to hand the order off to a company and have it done right and get it back when they said they were going to do it, then we're equally as good to work with. No matter what, I believe that if you spend a few minutes with the folks we have outside, when you head out, you're going to be impressed with how we treat coaches and how we take care of them. Thanks. Show them?
Yeah.
So if I hold this up,
Yeah.
then whoever I pick out wins this?
No, this is just an example.
Okay, all right. Okay, here we go. John Williamson from the East Side Warriors 9U. Are you here? Thanks, everybody.